Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of January 9th. It's been a couple of weeks. Happy New Year. I hope everyone had a great holiday season and a productive start to 2023. With the last Monday in December and the first Monday in January being holidays, the Council hasn't met since December 19th. So this past Monday night we had a busy agenda, and I wanted to highlight a couple of items that I know people are interested in. On Monday night, the City Council approved a $250,000 grant to Artistry. The grant will help Artistry stay afloat and will hopefully solidify Artistry's ability to continue to provide a range of artistic offerings in Bloomington. If you've been following this issue, you know that the pandemic caused a significant operating shortfall in Artistry's budget, and as the Artistry Board Chair told us last fall, that bad situation was made worse by poor management and lax board oversight. Artistry asked the city to assist their recovery plan, and in September, the City Council approved a $150,000 grant for Artistry. In October, the City Council voted down Artistry's request for a $750,000 loan from the City of Bloomington. I voted against the $150,000 grant in September because I didn't believe that Artistry had a viable plan in place to successfully move forward. I voted against the $750,000 loan in October for the same reason, and because I didn't think it was appropriate for the city to be providing a loan. At that October meeting, the City Council made their support for Artistry very clear, but the Council also made it very clear that without detailed operational and fundraising plans, that support would not include city financial backing. Since our discussion in October, Artistry has taken significant steps. Most significant has been their work with an organization called Propel Nonprofits. Propel specializes in financial and consulting services to help other nonprofit organizations be successful. Under Propel's guidance, and frankly as a practical matter, Artistry has significantly reduced their proposed budget and their headcount. They've reevaluated and restructured their program offerings, and they've developed a fundraising plan that includes sponsorships and philanthropic support. In short, Artistry has done enough to convince me and the rest of the City Council that they have a viable path to move forward. Not a guarantee, but at least a viable path. The term sheet the City Council approved specifically states that with this $250,000 grant comes the expectation that Artistry will not seek emergency financial assistance from the city in the future. Artistry is an important part of Bloomington's vibrant and otherwise thriving art scene. We know there is a significant economic return on the investment in the arts in Bloomington. Having Artistry go dark would have been a significant loss, and I'm glad their operational and financial plan puts them on a path forward. I look forward to seeing them succeed. Also on Monday night, we talked about Bloomington-related legislative items. Like a good number of cities, Bloomington has a formal list of legislative priorities that we discuss as a council, we coordinate with our legislative delegation, and advocate for in St. Paul. And if you're wondering if all of that is really necessary, I'd refer you to the old adage, if you're not at the table, you're probably on the menu. The list of priorities includes items that the city will actively work on, like full funding for the 494 project, expanding brain health services for police, fire, and first responders, and securing state funding for the World Expo. There's also a much longer list of issues that the city will keep an eye on and will react to if legislation starts moving. Issues like additional clarifications in the THC legislation that was approved last year, prohibiting landfill expansion in environmentally sensitive locations, or increased funding for affordable housing. One legislative policy that we continued the discussion on was the possibility of a Bloomington sales tax. We've been talking about this for a while now, and here's a quick review. A Bloomington sales tax would be a half-cent added to sales tax charged within the boundaries of the city. The tax would only apply to items that are currently taxable, meaning that things like clothing and groceries still would not be taxed. But rather than that half-cent going to the state of Minnesota, revenue collected through the Bloomington sales tax would stay right here in Bloomington and would help pay for some large, high-priority capital projects. According to estimates from the Minnesota Extension Service, a Bloomington sales tax would generate approximately $11 million each year. And given the size and the strength of Bloomington's retail economy, it's estimated that 75% of that sales tax would be paid for by visitors to Bloomington. 25% would be paid for by Bloomington residents. You might remember back in September, we heard that the Extension Service had adjusted those numbers downward based on pandemic-related spending. They also said that if the hospitality industry bounced back, we could expect revenues similar to pre-pandemic numbers, and that's exactly what has happened. Now, according to state law, The large capital projects that the funds would go to need to be regionally significant. When we started this discussion last year, we talked about 4 possible projects: renovation of the Bloomington Ice Garden, a new community health and wellness center, an expansion of the Bloomington Center for the Arts, and a replacement of the clubhouse at Dwan Golf Course. Now, based on a few factors, the potential list of projects that we talked about on Monday night has changed a bit. Given the uncertainty around Artistry, we didn't think the Arts Center expansion was appropriate at this time. And we heard from legislators last year that they would not support sales tax money going to a golf course. So we're no longer pursuing funding for the Arts Center expansion or for Dwan. The renovation of Big and a new health and wellness center are still part of the conversation, and we've also added to the discussion a renewal of the 9 Mile Creek corridor. That project would include improved trails and new bridges, restoration of woodland and wetland areas, and a new park shelter building and playground. Now, this whole discussion is important in the context of Bloomington's capital investment needs. You've heard me say this before. Many of our physical assets in Bloomington need significant investment or replacement. For years, one of the top priorities of city elected officials and staff and residents was to keep property taxes as low as possible, which is a great goal, and it worked well for Bloomington for decades. But the result was underinvestment in our physical capital, and now we're at the point where significant reinvestment is needed. The logic of a Bloomington sales tax is that it would reduce the cost of Bloomington residents to improve these facilities and would instead spread the cost across a larger group. Officially, we have until the end of January to let the legislature know if we plan to move forward with a Bloomington sales tax proposal. We'll be making that decision at our January 23rd meeting, and as part of that meeting, there will be an opportunity for public comment on the proposed Bloomington sales tax. I hope to see you there. And as a reminder, if we do choose to submit this to the legislature and it is signed into law, Bloomington residents would have the final say on things. A proposed Bloomington sales tax would ultimately go before Bloomington voters for final approval, and residents would have the opportunity to vote yes or no for each project separately. And finally today, a mayor's shout out to our public works team that did a fantastic job getting the city dug out and moving again after last week's 15 inches of snow. That snow was wet and heavy, and there was a lot of it. Hats off to our folks who worked long hours to get it plowed and cleared, and hats off to everyone who helped dig out or push out their neighbors who needed a helping hand. Well done, Bloomington. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.